Hey everybody, it's Roland Archer. I'm here with Sarah Grobank. And Sarah, you're here for, let's say it, one reason only. You're running a coffee company?
I am.
Now, I know I've met you through other ventures you do. You're also a server at a wonderful restaurant, or a few restaurants, right? Because we've known each other for a while. So what made you take that leap from serving to running your own coffee company?
Serving is just kind of a fun gig for me right now. I'm retired from a 22-year career in the pet industry. But before that, I am the daughter of the owner of a restaurant that I spent 22 years of my life in. And that kind of spurred my love of coffee. As my earliest memory goes back to prepping the restaurant for opening, the smell of the coffee. That's the first thing you do, was to put on a pot of coffee, and that was your day. And as growing up and earning a wage in that industry, I always had coffee on hand, always had the pot going, didn't matter what the time or day, I always had coffee in my hand. And then flash forward 20 years, moving to Huron County and being on a farm, the interest and I guess investigation of how it go from a coffee bean to, a drinkable product became an interest of mine. And traveling south, being able to experience coffee firsthand from the country of origin was absolutely incredible. And I wanted to be able to recreate that here.
So wait a second here. You've actually been to where they grow the coffee?
It's pretty much grown in every southern country that is warm, basically.
And then, now, sorry to interrupt, with coffee itself, though, let's be honest here. If you go to a lot of the larger brands, and we won't name names here, but is there a concern as much, because I guess ethical growing is a concern for most buyers these days. Fair trade, I guess, is the term for it. Is that something you concerned yourself with when you decided to start this company?
Absolutely. Seeing some of the farmers and how it's almost third world country over there. So given the climate and the terrain, especially in, say, Jamaica, where that's one of the best known coffees of the Blue Mountain Company there, but their terrain is so treacherous, it's so steep and so high, that's why it makes it so lucrative and so expensive, is because those farmers have to endure that terrain to pick those beans. So that's one of the reasons. So paying those farmers ethical and fair wages is very important to me. Very
nice. Now, what are other concerns? Like, I noticed that in the few blends that I've seen from you so far, I mean, is it different beans that makes the different blends, or is it how you prepared, or how did you come about that?
You can do sourced 100% from a country, so it would be Ethiopia or the Dominican or Jamaica. Those are 100% sourced in that country. Or you could do a blend that sources multiple countries, and you get, every country has a different flavor. It has different characteristics, rainfalls, heat, humidity, terrain, altitudes. All of that plays a role in how that coffee is grown and the flavor of it. So by combining different origins in different countries, you get unique blends and unique flavors. So that's kind of what I'm encompassing.
Now, I don't know if a lot of people know the process it actually takes from when you get those beans in to when they pick up that bag of coffee, but I assume it's not just as simple as like a 5-minute process of boop. Like, tell me, go through a quick, what is the process?
Well, to get it from another country, it's grown as what they call a cherry, and the bean is inside of that cherry. So it has to be picked. It has to the cherry has to come out of the bean, has to be dried, and they dry it out in the sun on whatever means they have there. Mm-hmm. And that gets bagged and shipped to an importer or a wholesaler here. Mm-hmm. And from here, it's brought in as a green bean, and it's roasted from there on, but it's got to be sifted, it's got to be cleaned, it's got to be dried correctly, and each roast has its own drying time. So there's a huge process to it.
And now if people are hearing this and going, hey, I want to find more about this because I'd like to give this coffee a try, where are the places that you're offering it right now?
Strictly online and out of my house. The website is westcoastcoffees with an S.ca. And eventually I want to be on a subscription basis. I like to try multiple different flavors and coffees every month, and having those shipped to my door at my leisure is a goal of mine. So
that sounds good for people that might get a little bored with their usual blend. If they always have that same type, throw it in the machine or whatever. This way they'll never know what they're going to get.
Well, they can pick what they want, but we also are going to offer surprise packs or a blend of the month, or so they can try different things as well.
What a great Christmas gift. I'm going, can I give myself this gift?
Maybe.
There you go. Okay, so, and I noticed that you're also on Facebook, because you want to run a wonderful Facebook group. More inspiring to me, actually, with some of the great sayings and slogans that you have. How can people find that?
It's I Love Coffees on Facebook, or West Coast Coffee is the tag for Facebook as well. On Instagram, Ontario's West Coast Coffee.co.
And then finally, what are some of the blends? Can you give a preview of what some of the stuff's coming up?
Yeah, I've got a medium roast on right now. We've just bagged a dark roast, and I have a pumpkin spice for the season. And there's going to be some upcoming holiday blends that I'm going to be launching in the next couple weeks as well.
Now, Sarah, the one question I always thought of when I see how many hats you wear for what you do with your coffee and your other businesses, you're also a mom.
I am a mom to 6 lovely children, 1 girl and 5 boys, the youngest being twin boys of the age of 4.
How do you do it?
Coffee.
That's true.
Coffee. Keeping me sane and just being able to sit back and relax, and having that time to myself is where I really enjoy that beautiful cup of coffee.
Well, there you go, everybody. Look up Sarah online with I Love Coffee. That's a great group. That's the great place to start. Get yourself in with some great locally sold, honestly, ethical should be the only way people are doing coffee anymore. You shouldn't be doing it any other way, because honestly, if they're not making a fair wage over there, making it, growing it, why are you drinking it? So thank you very much for coming by.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well,